I'm gonna go 7 days without listening to any music to see if almost resetting my ears will improve my ability to make music ideas and such. Is the constant intake of music taking away the space in our heads to create unique ideas? Is being a listener or consumer essential to being a creator? Or is this all just a complete stretch and absolutely pointless? But I'm gonna take you along the journey, day by day, producing or not producing, to see how this affects me, if at all. I'm gonna make that as quick as possible because there's a bunch of people making a bunch of noise around me. But yeah, day one of no music. Yesterday I knew I was gonna do this challenge, right? And I was just paying attention to how much I'm listening to music. And I was like, man, I woke up, I put headphones on to do chores. I was just listening to music while walking around. I took a walk, listening to music, go to the gym, listening to music, come back home and have music on while doing work and whatnot. So yeah, it's probably not gonna be as simple as it seems, especially if you're like me and listen to music a lot. Yeah, what I'm most not looking forward to is the gym, because gym ambience with no music on, it's not the best. Wait, aren't you technically listening to music in the video while editing it? Shut up. I've already noticed myself trying to go to Spotify and thinking of songs in my head. It's interesting. I mean, you wouldn't think that's that significant in your life until you get rid of it, right? I did not produce yesterday because I got really busy and things were not going as planned, but that's fine. Today I'm going to produce for sure. I started thinking, what if I just put a challenge in the challenge to make an idea every day, even if it's garbage, and to see if maybe they improve over time. So I think that's a good idea for me to do, especially to keep track of ideas in general. And obviously ideas come and go no matter what, so it's not a scientific way to study this. But yeah, it's pretty early in the morning. I'm gonna go do what I always do. Don't worry, you're not gonna get another gym montage. So I went to start producing, and I was feeling pretty good about it when I opened up the DAW and whatnot, but nothing really ended up happening. I came up with a kind of idea, but it's kind of whatever. Some of the sounds might be decently cool, but the idea is just not there. That's fine, right? We're just improving every day, and some ideas just flop, and that's fine. But I'm actually gonna start doing that one idea a day thing, just to see the progress and stuff. So on day 3, hopefully that was a smooth translation or something. And I'm be honest, it's actually day 4 of this thing, but I actually did not record yesterday, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, I did actually make a new idea yesterday, so that I do know. It was kind of weird. It's okay at best. Not anything I normally make, but I kind of do that a lot, where I just kind of make random ideas, just go with whatever I'm making and make something I don't even know the genre of, to be honest. It sounds like something that you would need vocals or something to tie it together to fill it up, but it's very bland right now. But hey, it's an idea, and I made something that's could be called music by technicality at least. Today I want to make something I can actually be decently proud of, or at least just an idea. It doesn't even have to be a full layout or anything, just something decent for day 4, right? Now about not listening to music, I really wanted to listen to music today, I'm not gonna lie to you, especially while working out, man. I get so much drive and motivation from listening to some crazy music, but no, I didn't have it today. I had to push myself through just with my own mind, and I guess that's also gotta be some sort of good training in itself, right? Just learning how to motivate yourself. I went through it, I got through it, I disciplined myself to do it, even though I really did not feel like working out today. So yeah, let's get to producing. Okay, back at it again. Today I'm pretty happy with what came out of this. So I was producing for about 4.5 hours, and for the first hour, absolutely nothing came out of it. I was just bouncing on ideas. I had an idea, but I couldn't really execute on it, which is really unfortunate. I really hate when that happens, when you have an idea, but perhaps my skill level is not there yet. When I first opened FL Studio, for some reason I had just a reggaeton beat in my head, so I was like, boop, da, boop, da, boop, you know what I'm saying? And then I made something absolutely different, and nothing worked out when I did that. So then I went back to trying to make something kind of related to reggaeton, right? Just at least a flip on it, having that same beat. And that's when the ideas started flowing. And I found on Splice a bunch of Hispanic vocals, and I think they worked super cool, even if I don't really know exactly what each and every one of them is saying. And then the sound design, I have this cool switch up at the end. I'm just surprised how much I actually got done in that amount of time. This is a full song basically, with a switch up at the end and everything. It's not just copy paste each section. So I'm pretty surprised at that. I don't know how much I can contribute that to this challenge and me not listening to music for the reason I came up with this idea. Either way, I'm very glad I came up with that. start. Let's see what I come up with tomorrow. So it's day 5 and I'm feeling pretty good, to be honest with you. Especially now after making some music, and especially yesterday I made something I'm pretty proud of, especially for the short amount of time I made it in. Yeah, feeling pretty good. I'm kind of excited for today, and I'm excited to see what I make next, right? Who knows, could be another flop, could be the next hit, you know what I'm saying? You never know. I'm really liking this challenge just because now I'm having like this reason to produce every single day. And I'm forcing myself to just sit there and push through until I make an idea, whatever the idea is. And I think that's really powerful to come up with ideas, right? Because it's so easy to get in your DAW, nothing happens, and then you give up. For example, yesterday, it took me like an hour of just doing completely different ideas and things that did not work out at all in order to find what I was actually stuck with. And sometimes what you actually make will be completely different from what you normally make, which is what I seem to do very often. The past 2 songs I made were very different than the type of music I normally make or even listen to, but I still really enjoyed it, right? I feel like it's getting a little bit repetitive though, just like coming out here and then going to produce. But yeah, let's go and produce. And so later that day I went to produce. Crazy how things work, huh? This one was interesting. I kind of got the idea straight off the bat just by going through my Vital presets and just like playing around. I made a really interesting sound and I was like, hey, let me just go on with this. Even if it's not the greatest idea in the world, I'll just make whatever out of it. And it ended up being kind of cool. There's a lot of potential in here and the intro is definitely lacking and there's a lot of stuff to do in the drop as well, but I'm just gonna leave it there. All these songs I'm gonna put on SoundCloud, and then if you guys ever want me to finish them, you can let me know. Alright, so day 6, let's do something different today. I want to complete a unfinished song that I have, and I have a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 3 of my best unfinished songs, where it's just a drop or just a cool intro or whatever it may be. And I'm going to go into one of my personal like friend Discord servers and see which one they like best. And whichever they do, I'm going to attempt to make a full song out of today, which is going to be tough because I've tried multiple times to finish a lot of these songs and nothing came up. That's going to push me for sure. I'm excited to see what happens. Let's get to it. I had a feeling they would pick that one. I actually started creating this song back in January this year, and it was inspired by an OST of a game a friend sent me. I made this drop, but I never had any other structure in the song. I tried many times to make an intro and expand on this idea to make a full song, but nothing ever stuck, so I get a feeling this is gonna flop. Is what I thought. I can't make this up, but I made this into something I am actually really proud of. Maybe this challenge is working already. I like the main idea, so I basically just kept that completely identical, just with some extra mixing improvements, but then I really changed the rest of the song and everything around it. Everything else is a bit more moody, if that makes sense, and then it goes into an absolute crazy switch up at the end. Probably gonna be very polarizing to most people. Love it or hate it, I think it's sick. Lots to work on, of course, just like all the songs I have here, but for one sitting, I'm happy. Here it is. Okay, it's the final day, and I'm not gonna lie, this has been great. I literally have not made this much consistently decent music or music that I'm proud of ever, especially not in a period of time that short. Again, this could be due to many things, and I'm gonna get to that later in the conclusion. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty great, and I'm excited to make the final song for this challenge today. Gotta end it off with a bang. It can't be a flop this time. And I say I ended off with a bang, but I actually kind of want to make something more chill today. Let's see where it takes me. And so I got to work. Not only did I make a more chill or slightly less intense song than I originally was making, but I actually made a pretty decent idea, I'd say. Definitely not polished, definitely not like a full song yet, but the idea's there, and in only 2 hours I got it made. So I'm pretty happy about that. Gladly I did not completely flop on this last day. That would have been really unfortunate. But yeah, basically how I went on making this was I went on Splice and I looked for song starters. And that's just like a bunch of loops that you find normally in genres I don't really care for. But I found this one loop that was for trance music or something along those lines, right? And I thought it was a cool idea. And I didn't use that sample, but I instead inspired the song off that sample. All right, let's hear it. Like I said, I've never made that much consistently decent music ideas. Normally when I sit down, like nothing comes up. And of course I don't want to just say that like, oh, it's just all because of this challenge that I got to make those ideas, because I'm sure a bunch of things have played a part in that, and I'll get to that in a second. But I do want to get to how this challenge has influenced me or affected me. The first few days were a bit harder than the rest. So after like 3 or 4 days, I was pretty used to not listening to any music, and I just kind of did things in silence, and it was pretty peaceful, to be honest. I realized how much I listen to music and the excess of music I listen to, I guess. Not that music is bad, it's not bad to listen to music, but it was definitely nice to have just a little break and I guess clear my mind out a bit. But once I started actually making music myself, it was pretty easy to go without music, and I just felt much more inspired. Now of course, that's not all that could have influenced me in this challenge. I think there's a few things that allowed me to get all these ideas out there, and obviously my first 2 ideas were kind of okay, at least in my opinion, and the first day I didn't produce. But the rest of them, I was pretty consistent, I'd say. And I do think not listening to music was part of it, but I also think that setting time down to just sit down and work on music, no matter how long it takes to get an idea, is a really helpful trick to use. And it seems so simple, right? A lot of times I give up before I even get an idea, or I'm like an hour in and I'm just like, okay, I'm done. But now that I just sit down until an idea comes, play around with whatever there is, sometimes ideas come on off the bat, sometimes they don't, and I guess I learned from that. This is a little less related directly to it, but I've also just not been on things like social media or YouTube as often recently, and that's completely separated from the challenge. I started doing that a little bit before, but that definitely has made my mind a bit more clear, I'd say. When you're filling up your day with all this fluff, I just feel like it has an effect on you, and I can't get into the science of that. That's not my job, but I think just trying out eliminating these unnecessary entertaining things in your life for short periods of time, doesn't have to be super long, can be a good way to regain some inspiration, regain some motivation to start working on your craft. And that probably applies to anything, not just music. Now let's answer the first questions I asked in the beginning of this video. So do we intake too much music? And obviously I'm speaking on personal experience, but I would say absolutely. When filling up every single pocket of your day with something in your ears, again, can't get into the science, but can't be good for you. And while it's good to get inspiration from other songs and to be able to study better producers than yourself, I think when you're constantly feeding your brain with all these other people's work, it's harder to come up with your own unique thing. And that's why I think it's good to find a balance between that. And then do you need to listen to be a creator as well, or be a consumer in order to create? I'd say partially so. Of course, you need to know how music sounds, right? Or the current style of music that there is, how good mix sounds, etc. And I'm not gonna say that you shouldn't be listening to music at all, right? You should of course be listening and studying other music of other people and enjoying music as well. But like I said, maybe taking it back a little bit can be a little helpful. And is this a complete stretch? You probably can guess right now. I don't think so. I might try doing other challenges or other things in the future. Just let me know what you think of this format of video, because it's definitely something I've never done before. If there's any songs that you really like in this video or didn't at all, then just let me know. The SoundCloud, I'm going to post all these songs completely unaltered from the day I made them on the SoundCloud. So rough mixes and stuff, but they're going to all be there. You can let me know which ones you might want me to finish or not. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. See ya.